Alright guys, I'm going to warn you now. I have hiccups while I'm recording this, so feel free to laugh. Alright, so I know I'm not there. See, there's a hiccup. Still taking the test tomorrow. So I want to go over the study guide because all of these things are going to be on your test, just so we can make sure you know how to do them. So in 3.1, you need to be able to graph angles. So like we did while we were remote. So again, your initial side is always here on the positive x-axis. Terminal side is just wherever it goes. Again, positive angles go counterclockwise, negative go clockwise. Right? So remember, you have quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so you need to be able to draw them. I will keep them under 360 degrees, so you're not going to have to loop around a lot. So you shouldn't have any issues there. Again, you need to be able to tell me which one is the initial side, which is this one, and then your terminal side is here. Right, again, also be able to tell me what quadrant your angle is in. So again, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, the other part we did in 3.1 was finding our coterminal angles. So let's say you're given, like I said, the example in your study guide was 135 degrees. So you're going to keep adding 360 until you get above 720, right? So if you do it once, you get 495. If we would add it again, we'd be over 720. So then let's do 135 minus 360. That gives us negative 225. And then we'll subtract 360 again, getting negative 585. So those are going to be your 3 coterminal angles. So again, you're just adding and subtracting 360. Alright, so in 3.2, we just converted from radians to degrees to radians. Just some quick examples. Excuse me. So let's say we have 150 degrees. If I wanted that in radians, I would multiply by pi over 180. So then when you multiply this together and reduce it, you end up with 5 pi over 6. Alright, so let's say then I have pi over 3 radians. I want that to degrees, multiplied by 180 over pi. Right, pi's cancel. 180 divided by 3 then gives me 60 degrees. Again, you can use your calculator for these, so you shouldn't have any issues. Okay, and then the last thing we did for this first page here, so in section 4.1, we talked about what quadrant trig functions were positive or negative in. So remember, in quadrant 1, all 3 trig functions are positive. In quadrant 2, it's only sine. Quadrant 3 is tangent, and quadrant 4 is cosine. So your problems on your test are going to look like this. It's going to tell me, or your directions would say, tell me what quadrant your angle is in. And you'll have something like cosine theta is greater than 0 and sine theta less than 0. So that means cosine is positive, sine is negative, so that means that angle would be in quadrant 4. Right, and remember for the reciprocal functions, it's the same. So like if we had secant here, right, you still treat it like cosine, cosecant with sine, tangent, and cotangent. Okay, so then we did 4.2, which is reference angles. I'm pretty sure you all have a good grasp on this, especially after watching you guys do those practice problems yesterday. But again, make sure that the angle you're given is positive and less than 360. If it's negative, you're going to add 360. And then if it is larger than 360, you'll subtract 360 to get it in that range. Then you're going to determine what quadrant your angle's in. And then depending on the quadrant, use the correct formula to find the reference angle. You need to know these for your test, right? You're not going to be given the formulas, so you will need to know those. Okay, and if you are given a measurement in radians, just convert it to degrees first to find the reference angle. All right, and then for 4.3, you need to be able to read and use your unit circle. So I'm just going to ask you for like trig functions of specific values that fall on the circle. So like sine, cosine, or tangent of like 30, 45, 60, 90, and so on that are going to fall on that value. So a little less complex than that chart that we did, but you will need your unit circle for your test, and you need to make sure that you know how to read it. Okay, if you guys have any questions, email me, have Miss Jones call me. We will figure it out, but your test is still tomorrow.